In this lesson, we're going to learn how to get your website onto the web. Currently, your website only lives within your own computer where only you have access to it. Okay? So, 4 steps. The first one is you have to find yourself a web hosting company to hold your whole website, okay, on their servers. The second one is you have to choose a name for your site. The third one, find a way to get your files from your computer to the server at the hosting company. Okay, we're gonna get into that. And last one, you have to, just point your friends and family to your new site. So let's start with the first one. So finding yourself a hosting company is not hard. But first, what is a hosting company? So a web host are companies that rent out their services, okay, and technologies to host website on the internet. So once the hosting company hosts your website, everybody around the world have access to it by just typing your address, which is basically a domain name, in their web browser. Okay, so popular hosting company are the HostGator, the Bluehost, and the GoDaddy. So let's take a look at least at one of these. If you type on google.com, GoDaddy, which is godaddy.com, you will see this link here. In this website, you can go to hosting, and then depends on your need. Probably you might have to learn a little bit about each one. Okay. For example, if you have just a simple website like a portfolio, something like that, like this simple web hosting is just okay for you. Then we have WordPress, then we have a business one, and so on. So let's start with the first one. Here you will be available to see the prices for each one. So they have the economic and so on. And again, depends on what you need. For example, for this one, you can host only one website, which means that if you create one website, you can host only one website. Okay. And of course, they give you 100 gigabytes of storage and so on. So depends on what you need. You may pick the one that you want. Then you can click on Add to Cart. And then after that, you can just choose any plan you want. For this course, you don't really have to do this, but it's always good to know that is there for us. Okay. So let me just go back. So the second one, choose a name for your site. So when we're talking about a name, I mean that the name that people will like write it down on the browser to get into your website. And that is a domain name. So what is a domain name? It's basically a unique name that is used to locate your website. Okay. This is an example of the domain name. It's the whole, everything all together is called the URL. And here is the domain name. So you have to keep something in mind. When you try to create a domain name, you need to do it by like thinking about something, first of all, related to your business. For example, again, if you have a, I don't know, like a bakery website and you want to put the name of your business as a domain name, that's fine. That's perfect. Okay. However, what you don't want is put it like a really long name for the domain name, because people then probably will forget about it, or people might get confused. So it depends on the domain name. Also, people can remember and they just can go directly to your website. So the third one, transfer your files from your computer to the server. Okay. So I'm just gonna giving you, I'm just going to give you like a little overview in this lesson, but then we're gonna get into more details for this one. But this is basically how it works. You had your every files, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images. You have everything on your computer. Then you just need to upload it to the server. This is the one that you just rent right now. And then the user have access to your website. Because now every file, instead of living in your own computer, live in this web server. And finally, once you have your domain, you have the server and everything is set up, you just need to share your link, which is the URL for your website. And you can use Facebook and Instagram or Twitter, and you can also send the domain through emails, or you just can promote like your by like creating an ad using Google Ads. So on the next lesson, we're going to talk about how do you transfer your files to the web servers.